All right, let's get right into it. When you decide to bring a powerful AI like Copilot into your company, there's one huge unspoken promise. Your private data stays private. Period. Well, we're here to talk about how for several weeks, that core promise was completely broken. This one sentence really tells you everything you need to know. This wasn't some loud, obvious attack from the outside. No, it was something much scarier. It was quiet. It was internal. A simple mistake in the code that basically rotted the system's defenses from the inside out. Right, so that's the real question, isn't it? It's not like hackers got in. It was the AI itself, the very tool that was supposed to be your trusted sidekick that started reading things it was specifically told never, ever to touch. So let's dig into how something like that could even happen. Okay, so let's perform a little autopsy on this failure, because what you're about to see is just how easy it is for a tiny, seemingly simple mistake in the code to blow a massive hole in your entire data security strategy. Now, before we get any deeper, we have to talk about this term, data loss prevention, or DLP. Just think of it like the digital bouncer for your company's most sensitive information. It's the system that says, hey, you're allowed in, or nope, you can't see this. And that system, well, it's the very thing that failed. So here it is, broken down. A logic error. That's just a fancy way of saying the code made a bad decision. Because of that one mistake, Copilot essentially became blind to those big red confidential flags on emails, specifically emails in your drafts and sent folders. And the result? The AI just went ahead and read, indexed, and even summarized super sensitive info it should have never laid eyes on. And get this. This wasn't fixed overnight. This thing was live, actively scanning confidential emails for weeks. Microsoft spotted something weird in late January, but the fix didn't start rolling out until early February. That is a massive window of exposure for a bug this serious to be active inside a business. And this shows you exactly where the chain broke. Look at steps 2 and 3. The AI was supposed to stop at the door and check the guest list. That's the policy check. But because of that logic error, it didn't. The check just failed. The security gate was left wide open, and all that protected data was just pulled right on through into the AI's memory. So, we get the technical problem, right? But the consequences, oh, they go way beyond a few lines of bad code. This is where we talk about the real-world damage, the fallout from a breach of trust this big. Here's the kicker. All those systems that companies spend millions of dollars on, those complex policies they build their entire compliance strategy around, they were just useless. The AI literally just walked right past all the digital guardrails like they weren't even there. And just take a second to think about what's actually sitting in people's drafts and sent items folders. We are talking about the absolute crown jewels of a company. Unfinished legal strategies, private conversations between executives, high-stakes deal negotiations that haven't even gone out yet. I mean, that's the level of stuff that was exposed. And really, at the end of the day, this is the biggest hit. When you bring a tool like this into your organization, you are placing an incredible amount of trust in the provider to do the right thing with your data. An incident like this one, it completely shatters that trust and forces you to rethink that entire relationship from the ground up. The ripple effect from this is just huge. You're suddenly staring down the barrel of massive fines under rules like GDPR. You've got potential lawsuits from partners whose data you swore to protect. And then there's the reputational hit, which can last way longer than any bug. This puts every single cloud AI provider, not just Microsoft, right under the microscope. Okay, so that's the mess. But what's the cleanup? For any company out there using these tools, this is a major wake-up call. So let's walk through a practical playbook for what you should be doing right now. In the first 72 hours, it's all about damage control. First things first, confirm if you were one of the companies affected. Then you gotta dive into the logs. Who was using Copilot? What was it looking at? You need to zero in on your most sensitive mailboxes. We're talking legal, finance, the C-suite, and lock everything down for review. But longer term, this has to be a real strategic shift. You have to start demanding more from your vendors. Your contracts need to spell out exactly how AI is allowed to process your data. And most importantly, your own security systems need to become AI aware. You have to treat these assistants not just as helpful gadgets, but as powerful data engines that need their own special set of rules. When you step back and look at the big picture, this incident is way more than just another bug. It's what people are calling a clarifying moment for enterprise AI.
It perfectly highlights the fundamental tension that's at the heart of this whole new wave of technology.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you have all the amazing promises of AI, making us faster, smarter, more productive. But on the other side, you've got these colossal risks, accidentally exposing data, blowing past security, and just a total breakdown of trust. Every single company now has to figure out how to navigate this trade-off.
And that really leaves us with this final, incredibly important question. As these powerful AIs get woven into every single tool we use, from email to Excel, we have to keep asking ourselves, are we still in control of our most sensitive information? Or have we just handed the keys to the kingdom over to the algorithm? That's something every leader needs to be thinking about right now.